has produced and marketed patient education materials for the ophthalmic industry since 1982, and PEC has provided their products to over 12,000 eye care professionals in the United States and worldwide into over 30 countries. Our second speaker is Mr. Mike Malley. Mike is the president and founder of CRM Marketing Group. CRM provides consulting and marketing services on a market-exclusive basis to some of the country's largest ophthalmic practices. Mike is also a frequent lecturer at many of the world's leading refractive symposiums. Today's webinar will last about 40 minutes, and there will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. We invite you to please submit your questions by typing them into the GoToWebinar question submission box. You'll see that on the GoToWebinar control panel on your screen. Or you're welcome to email your questions directly to Bob and/or Mike after the webinar. You'll see both of their email addresses are visible on the screen now. Okay, everyone, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce Mr. Bob Watson.
Well, thank you, Connie. Just want to start by saying, Mike and I have kind of had the unique advantage of serving a lot of practices that were early adopters of this, laser cataract surgery, and helping practices market laser cataract surgery. It's not like our first rodeo, as we like to say here in Texas. I think between Mike and I, we've got over 55 years of ophthalmic marketing experience, and we both spent probably 95% of our time focusing on cataract and refractive marketing. So the advent of laser cataract surgery really represented kind of the perfect storm for both of our companies. Although many of our most successful practices are converting up to 70% of their patients to premium cataract services, not all our practices are willing to invest the time and the money, needed to reach these levels of conversion. And I think the old adage that it takes money to make money is certainly a truism as it applies to marketing laser cataract surgery today. You can do it on the cheap and maybe experience a 25 to 30% conversion rate, or you can invest in your marketing efforts, and you'll discover, as Mike likes to say and will be saying later on, there's never been a better time to be a cataract surgeon, thanks to both the laser cataract surgery and the premium IOL technology, and as well as the financial strength and the pure number of us baby boomers out there that are going to need cataract surgery. Both Mike and I work with practices that ask us to help them execute their marketing ideas, and we work with practices that have zero marketing ideas that want us to lead them. About the only time we can't help a practice is when they've engaged, say, a local advertising agency that has convinced them that they can do it better starting from scratch. So although my business is selling marketing materials, Mike's business is marketing, consulting, and advertising. In this webinar, we're not going to focus on our products, although I might accidentally mention one or two. Instead, we're going to focus more on what we know is working for our clients and why it's working. So whether you own a laser, whether you're using a laser at an outside ASC, or just thinking about offering laser cataract surgery, I hope you'll find this webinar useful. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by covering how to build awareness with existing patients. That's really where you need to start. Just taking advantage of the folks that you've already got coming into the practice, then how to maximize the conversion of those patients to your premium services. We'll talk a little bit about how to capture and retain visitors on the web and internet. And then Mike's going to talk about the massive potential that he sees in external advertising and what kind of effective marketing messages you need to be presenting, and also how to choose the right media partners. So let's start by talking about what do patients want. Well, patients want exactly what you're offering, and that's laser cataract surgery with a premium lens. They want the best possible outcome, the safest procedure possible, and they want lifestyle enhancements. They want to be less dependent on their glasses, they want to look better, and they want to feel younger. That's everything that you have. So how do you convince a patient that your premium services are worth all that extra money that you're charging? My first laser cataract customer was Dr. Stephen Slade here in Houston, who called me up and said, you know, I want to start upgrading my patients to laser cataract surgery. And I went, oh my gosh, you're already charging an arm and a leg for your lenses, and now you're telling me you want to charge even more for the laser. And I told him, just as I tell everybody today, that the only way you can charge more for something that you can get less elsewhere, and elsewhere is even within your practice, is to elevate its perceived value in the mind of the consumer. And I like to draw the car sales analogy, you know, and ask each practice, what are you selling? Are you selling the Chevys? Are you selling the Mercedes out there? What kind of dealership are you? Are you selling a premium service or just an everyday service? And I hope you say that you're a Mercedes dealer. You're selling Mercedes. But it's important that you understand the Mercedes you're selling is not your laser. Patients could care less what laser you have. The Mercedes you're selling are your visual outcomes with improved accuracy, potentially safer, and with lifestyle enhancements. So going back to the analogy of the car salesman, the first thing that Dr. Slade and I talked about is I said, if we're going to elevate the perceived value, think about going to a Chevy dealership. Maybe you're looking for a Silverado. They're going to give you a little flyer that has a front and back to it, might be colored. Detroit gives them to them for free, and they can stamp their name on the back of it. That's probably all you get. But if you walk into the Mercedes place, they're going to hand you this book that has weight. You know, your hands are going to drop an inch when they put it in your arms. It's got beautiful pictures, and it's just a fabulous brochure, and it reeks of premium product and premium services. Well, the device companies are very well intentioned. They all want to help you market, but they're very limited by legal and regulatory, by the FDA, as to what they can say. And you'll find their brochures talk about their lasers because they love their lasers, and it'll include language like you know, including integrated optical coherent tomography, which goes right over people's heads. Or you might have a little place to stamp your name or put a sticker in there when that's not very first class. And there's always warnings and precautions, and some of them even have a search, a website to go search for a laser cataract surgeon near you. So it makes it easy for your patients to go out and find another laser cataract surgeon nearby. So what we did with Dr. Slade was we said, okay, let's create a premium custom brochure, something that has weight and feel to it. These have embossed lettering on it with silver foil and gold foil. And within the brochure, what we do is we present the potential outcomes that are available through the practice. We talk about the laser, and we talk about the benefits of each of the major steps that the laser does over manual cataract surgery. Then we use patient testimonials, and I think patient testimonials always do a better job of selling than the practice can do, because if the patients are real, you know, that they know that you know, it's from a personal experience. They really help patients make a positive decision. And then you can present your team in the brochure, and this has a little pocket folder in the back, and we'll talk about why that's beneficial in a premium brochure like this. So we've done lots of these for lots of different practices, and I've got the email address here. We've got plenty of samples left. If somebody would like to have one, please just email us. If you don't want to go the premium brochure route, do something custom. You know, make it a deluxe brochure. Make it at least make it very custom and custom about you and your practice and the laser and results and things like that. So let's move on now to maximizing conversions and talk about the one thing that patients absolutely hate. And what they hate the most is surprises. When they get to your practice, they sit down in your exam room and you tell them that they have cataract surgery, and then you start listing all the options that are available, they hate that. It's very difficult for them to concentrate on what you're telling them after they hear the word surgery. They're wondering, well, who's going to take care of the cat, or am I going to go blind, and am I going to have to go to the hospital? I mean, they're just thinking all kinds of things. That surgery is a scary word. It's also difficult to understand the importance of the decision that you're asking them to make, and how it's going to affect the quality of their vision for the rest of their lives. And so we also see a lot of doctors and counselors either just explaining the advantages of laser cataract surgery and IOL options with words, or print materials that are just a bunch of words, and it's very difficult for patients to understand those. So the way to avoid surprises and maximize conversions is to educate early and educate everywhere you can. And what you're doing at each one of those opportunities is making patients aware of their options. Now, there's many ways that you can do this, and we talked just a minute ago about some people just using words. Here's an example of somebody that's explaining their diamond level and their diamond plus level. And when you read all these words here in the diamond level, you're going to determine that that you're going to have good distance vision, and you're probably going to be getting a toric lens here. But and that's for $3,500. For $4,500, you can get a bifocal or a multifocal lens to have a full range of vision. So, they can figure it out, by staring at those words. Or what we've done is we've kind of taken those same options and made them pictorially clear that with the diamond level, you get laser cataract surgery versus manual. You're going to get a toric monofocal lens. That's going to give you your best distance vision without glasses. We're going to correct your astigmatism, even if it's at a high level, but you're still going to wear glasses for reading. But over on the Diamond Plus, you get the laser cataract surgery. You get the premium multifocal or accommodative. You're going to have clear vision at all distance, and you're not going to have, we're going to get rid of your astigmatism, and 98% of our patients do not require any glasses. So it makes it very clear what the options are. And there's a bunch of different ways you can lay these out. We do table mats like that sometimes as well for counseling sessions. So the next tool that you can use beyond the brochure, and this is something that Dr. Slade and I created to help explain laser versus traditional cataract surgery. And it's just a short little 2-minute video. It talks about laser cataract surgery being a technological breakthrough, how it can result with better visual outcomes. It's potentially safer. The capsular rhexis is 10 times more accurate in a very critical step of the surgery. That less ultrasonic energy is needed, and there's less stress to the delicate optical fibers and zonual fibers in the eye. And it's we have patients that watch this and they go, "Oh my gosh, I want laser." So when and where do you educate patients? And we're going to talk about each one of these locations: the OD offices, websites, snail mail, email, reception rooms, exam rooms, consultation rooms, and social media. And I'll kind of go through, each one of those. The OD office. Now, you see Dr. Baker here using an iPad to educate his patients. The video that we showed you, the laser versus cataract surgery, is available through iTunes at a cost of like $49. So you don't have to be a surgical practice to afford this. Your ODs can afford this, and they too, love Apple and iPads, and they certainly can get something like this. We talked about the premium brochures. A lot of our practices are giving those premium brochures to their ODs, and the OD can put co-management information in the little pocket folder in the back. And in fact, when I was at Omni Eye in Atlanta shooting a custom video for them, I asked this one patient, I said, so what was it that made you choose OmniEye for laser cataract surgery? And she says, I'll show you. And she walked over and she picked up 2 brochures her optometrist gave her. One was a little trifold, and the other was the premium brochure. And she just looked at me and smiled, and she said, which one would you choose? It was kind of a no-brainer there. So, you know, load up your ODs with some quality marketing materials. And then really encourage your ODs to do some recommendation, just like you would do when they're in your office. You know, talk to them, get them to make recommendations. You know, just saying something simple to the patient, like, you know, if you were a member of my family, I would definitely encourage you to choose laser over manual, just, you know, because it's much more accurate. So making that recommendation is absolutely key. Now let's go to the website. We are a baby boomer. You know, the baby boomer generation are a video generation. If your website is old and it just has a bunch of words on it, you need to update. You need videos on just about every page if you can, because what videos do is they hold the patient longer on your website. The longer they're on your website, the more likely they are to take that next step of contacting the practice, and they're going to learn more from the videos as well. Now, if you have a website with a lot of ophthalmology content on there, sometimes it's pretty hard to find your laser cataract surgery content. I know I've been out looking at clients' websites and trying to decide, well, are they doing laser cataract surgery or not? And sometimes it's really buried and hidden. Well, a microsite is something you might want to consider creating. These are usually 1 or 2 pages in length. They have their own unique URL. If you are doing any kind of external advertising, and Mike will encourage you to do that, it's a great landing page to send people to your website. You can put vanity phone numbers on here, and through Google Analytics, you can really track the effectiveness of any marketing external marketing that you're doing. But above all else, what it does is it separates your laser cataract surgery from the clutter of your main website. This makes it much more easy to see. The other thing you should do, and you should test this right now, look at your website on your smartphone. If you have to constantly spread that screen open and trying to find the navigation bar that you can hit without, and not hit the one below it or above it because you have fat fingers, I mean, people get frustrated with that. And over 50% of the people that are visiting your website now are doing it on their smartphone. So if you have a responsive website, that's great. Responsive websites can detect what kind of device is accessing it, and it changes shapes. But if you don't, it's very easy to create something like a mobile website that really kind of focuses on the key content offerings of your practice and is extremely easy to navigate. There's also a number of very interesting interactive tools out there that you can use on your website. This one allows the patient to pick any of the intraocular lenses on the left, and you can just kind of go from what the patient's perspective changes as the bar slides from normal to presbyopia to cataracts to standard monofocal day to multifocal day, standard monofocal night, multifocal night, and below it is exactly what a counselor would be saying if they were right there in the room. And that program can be on your website, but it can also, if you have access to the internet, you can actually pull it in on your tablet as well. So you have consistent education going from the web into the office when they come in to visit. This is a tool that our client OmniEye Services in Atlanta is using. It's an eye cataract counseling tool that's a video tutorial that really is very easy to use. You just go through 6 steps and you learn all about IOL options and inside there, well, you can do it 2 different ways. One is the pay-per-click. So if you did a cataract surgery Atlanta search and you were within a 25-mile radius of Atlanta, your ad's going to show up as it's highlighted in yellow, and you're going to click on that. Or you can do an organic lead where you just have the counselor on your website, so people can click on that on your website. That way you don't have to pay Google Analytics any money. But the program has vision surveys in there. We find out what the current vision of that patient is like and whether they think they have a cataract or not. And before they can really continue to learn more, they have to enter their name and email address. And then once they get past that, then we want to say, well, okay, how do you want to see after your cataract surgery? And depending on what they click on, that will show them the various types of lenses that will get them to their the outcome that they desire. And there's a section in there, too, how are they removed? Well, they can be removed either by traditional cataract surgery or laser cataract surgery. So it's a very informative tool. They get a printout of their results that they can email their results, and the practice gets a real nice contact request form so that they can follow up with that patient to get them scheduled in for a free vision screening. Another good way to educate before they come in is to send them an email with video links. And this is just kind of a sample email that says, prior to your visit, I would appreciate it if you would watch a couple of educational programs about cataracts and various implant options and the most advanced laser cataract surgery treatment that we offer our patients. And just clicking on these links, they click on cataracts, they're going to get the overview program. If they click on implant options, they're going to learn about all the different options that are available. And if they click on laser cataract surgery, they're going to get to watch that laser versus traditional cataract surgery program. Great way to educate before they come in. And of course, snail mail works too. If you have, want to send them a brochure and in a pocket folder type thing, send that out to them in advance. Now, once they walk in the door, you want to hit them with education everywhere you can. A lot of people have tried video in the past. There's now new videos available that have music only. So without the narration, you're able to control the ambience of the room a little bit more, and these programs are both entertaining and educating. Another popular thing now are these pop-up banners, and you can promote laser cataract surgery with these. You can move these banners around within the practice. You can take them to health fairs. I've had several practices buy them and put them in their OD offices. And then there's the old fallback of the 24 by 36 posters that you can put on the walls in the lanes, in the secondary waiting rooms, and even again give to ODs. The exam room is another excellent place to show the programs. Patients can watch while they dilate or wait for the doctor, or after the doctor leaves, kind of depending on how busy you are and your patient flow. And then, of course, in the consultation rooms, one-on-one, the videos typically have a number of 3D images, and you can walk through those 3D images. You can draw on those 3D images and do a much more interactive type of presentation. So if you'll indulge me one more time, I'll go back to the sales analogy. And what does that salesman do when you walk on the showroom floor? He gives you the keys. He wants you to get out in that car. He wants you to feel how it rides. He wants you to just inhale that new car smell. He wants you to own it. He wants you to see yourself, in that car. And then after you driving around for a while, he brings you back in. He asks you what color. Well, you're hooked. You say red. And they say, sit down, and the next thing you know, he brings you back down to reality with realistic expectations in terms of this is how much it's going to cost you, and these are all the extras that weren't included in that price, et cetera, et cetera. Well, you really have to think about videos in the same way. There are overview type of programs, and then there's consent programs. And the best sales is to have both. Just you want to show them what their potential is, but you also want to make sure that your patients have realistic expectations and they understand that they may not achieve the type of result that they wanted to begin with. The other thing is, social media. If you're not doing social media, it's time to start. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, these are all very, very valuable tools that you need to focus on and dedicate, somebody in the practice or hire an outside service to do, and you will reap the benefits from that. So that eats up my 20 minutes. Mr. Mike Malley is next, live from Fenway Park, or wherever you are, Mike. I don't know where you are, but if you're there, I'm going to turn this over to you, hopefully, with these few clicks of a button. And if you'll unmute your mic.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
I can barely hear you.
Okay. How about there?
Yeah.
And can you see my? Let's do this. Can you see my screen now?
We can.
Okay. Well, thanks, Bob. Great job. And I want to, tell everybody before we get started. Thanks for tuning in today. And I think Bob and I learned a lot over the past couple of days giving these webinars. But I wanted to point out that, in Bob's case, he's really preaching, exactly what everyone should do. And I even pointed out to Bob. I said, this is not so much, Bob, about selling our products. It's really about telling people what to do. The simple 1, 2, 3 steps that over the past 3 years we've seen that work. And so if you follow those simple steps that Bob outlined for internal marketing, patient education, enhancing patient perceived value, it simply works. It's the best investment you've ever made. Our practices today over the past 3 years have generated more cataract surgery, more patient revenue from premium product lines than at any other time in history. And so this whole process is taking us to a crossroads, so to speak, in our industry, and it's time to really decide which way you want to go down those crossroads. During today's presentation, I'm going to show you several samples of what we're doing, because I think that's the best way to learn, is to see actual campaigns that we're using in the field and tell you how successful they work and how you can do those. And if you want to see those, you can email me at mike@refractivemarketing.com. And I was going to show several TV commercials also, but they play rather slowly over our internet link. So we will post those up on a YouTube channel, and we'll send you a link for those as well. So as many of you know, the first crossroads we came to early on in our industry was the CMS ruling. In the old days, there was no CMS ruling that allowed us to charge for premium products. And so in many ways, these are the best of times for our industry. It's amazing that Medicare allows us to provide a superior level of service, superior diagnostics and imaging, and superior laser technology and lens implants, and then to turn around and charge patients what we feel is a good price for those services. So that was really the first crossroad that we came to. And a lot of practices didn't know how to justify their fees and didn't know what to charge, but I hope that by now we've kind of come beyond these things and answered these questions, and have now moved into laser cataract surgery. It's the same kind of crossroad. Do you femto or do you not femto? I'm not here to sell you a laser. I'm not here to tell you how great these lasers are, but I am here to tell you that when you say the word laser cataract surgery, patients open their eyes and they open their ears. There's not one single patient when we promoted laser cataract surgery that didn't say, wow, or didn't say, I already thought you were doing it with laser. But we haven't found one patient who wasn't interested in at least learning about what laser cataract surgery is and how it's helping reduce patient fear and patient anxiety, and giving patients the peace of mind with accuracy and precision and those things. Now, can every patient afford laser cataract surgery? No, and that's okay. For patients who can't afford it, they shouldn't have it done, and they aren't having it done. Are a lot of patients having it done in record numbers in markets across the country? Absolutely. And those patients who are having it done simply have increased or had their perceived value of this technology and these procedures enhanced through educational products, and they say, hey, I'm having this surgery one time, I want to have the best. And so we find ourselves today in a retail ophthalmic environment. And I say retail because in no other time in ophthalmic history did we have the opportunity to sell someone a service line product for $6,000 or $8,000 out of pocket. If that's not retail, then I don't know what is. And if you don't provide your customers, your patients, with a retail environment that elevates their perceived value, then you're really just not doing your practice. You're doing your practice a disservice. Sharif Madavi in the past has always talked about a premium service practice, and I used to kind of laugh at him a little bit, but now I'm thinking maybe he truly was a visionary, because he's spot on. He really did hit it right now that we find ourselves in a high-end retail environment. So where does it leave us today? It leaves us actually in very good shape. There has never been, in my opinion, a better time to be having a patient considering cataract surgery or a doctor performing cataract surgery. And that's part of the educational process you should be telling patients. Tell every patient that comes in, there has never been a better time to be a patient. There's never been a better time to be a surgeon. We have more lenses, more technology, more diagnostics than ever before. Our results are more predictable, and they're unsurpassed. In the next 18 years, people, there's more job security in this field than the oil and gas industry, I think, because every day, 8,000 people a day are turning 65, and the beauty of getting older is that 92% of all of us, before we meet our maker in the United States, if we live long enough, will have a lens implant put in our eye, and we'll undergo cataract surgery. So it looks pretty good, and we prefer that those people that are going to have cataract surgery in the future, come to one of our cataract centers of excellence. And it's just the way it is. So where do you find yourself? The easy way for people who, when you buy a laser, since we're discussing laser cataract surgery, you have two options. You can take that laser and simply talk to your optometrist and talk to your current patients and convert as many people as you can using the products that Bob talked about. And or you can not buy a laser and you cannot do anything. And so that's kind of the one path. Get a laser and not market it, or not get a laser and just don't do any upselling or conversion. There's much greater risk. There's much greater challenges. It's a difficult path to go down, but the rewards are phenomenal for those people who take that portion. And what my crossroad is really, when you get the laser, do you advertise or do you not advertise? And to me, it's just, I'm in the advertising business, obviously, but the opportunity is incredible. We have the largest cataract audience in history. They've got more wealth than any previous audience in history. They're more educated, and we have a 3-year track record of success, of proven success, that says when you get out there and properly promote the benefits of laser cataract surgery combined with other premium products, people buy the product. And so what we see is, back in the 80s when I first got started, there was a lot of cataract marketing going on down in Florida, or really across the country. Why was that? Because the reimbursement was $4,500 an eye. So there was a lot of room for advertising. Today, cataracts have reached that same level of cost. Combined with Medicare and insurance coverage and out-of-pocket expenses, cataract surgery today can be in the $6,000 or $7,000 range. And so there's a lot of potential out there. And when compared to LASIK, over the past 3 years, we've learned that the cataract marketing is much easier than a LASIK market. Number one, in terms of the audience, we know where a cataract market is. And we, compared to LASIK, they're all over the place. They're tweeting, they're Instagramming, they're DVRing all their different shows. They're using Hulu versus normal television. But seniors, to know how simple it is to reach the target audience, go visit your parents or grandparents this weekend. Spend Friday night with them, spend all day Saturday and all day Sunday, and come back and call me on Monday and tell me what they were doing. At some point during that weekend, they're watching a lot of TV. They may even still be reading the newspaper, and they're probably checking Facebook. And when it comes to advertising, those three things are where people are, and TV continues to be the best medium for us to use. We've seen patients, when properly educated through advertising, they will bypass their optometrist and come directly into one of our centers. We have centers where they do zero optometric co-management, are doing record cataract volume, and every single cataract patient who comes in has an optometrist that would not have referred to us, but that patient chose to come through us through advertising. And therein lies the benefit of this whole reason to advertise. If number one, it's working, but number two, it's the only way to generate new patients in a large format, that we've seen. So if you never reach out to the public will never find out, the mass public will never find out what you do. And so the fact that no cataract patients go to the academy, they don't go to AICRS, the vast majority of people out there have no idea about laser cataract surgery, what the benefits are, difference between Victus, Catalyst, LensX, LensAR, no clue. And so if all you do is convert your own patients or rely on 20 optometrists to send you practices, you'll never reach the hundreds of thousands and millions of cataract patients over the next 15 years that could be coming directly to your practice, because right now there's not a whole lot of competition. So you can get out there and capture the entire market, direct them to your practice, properly educate them, convert 30, 40, 50%, whatever your number is, and have an incredible practice. And it's really that simple. And the key to all of this that I've seen is simply the word laser. Yes, you can say everyone knows about cataract surgery, but no one knows about laser cataract surgery. And they don't know about the manufacturers. They don't know about a multifocal, a toric, an LRI, or anything else. And so that's why when you advertise, patients don't even know that cataract surgery can now correct astigmatism, or that we have special lenses that can improve your night vision, or we have quarter Doppler lenses now, or lasers that can enhance your vision. So because patients have to have surgery somewhere, we prefer they have it at one of our centers. So I'm going to show you 5 very simple campaigns that we've done over the past 3 years, and how we did them. And with the first one, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why are you doing print advertising? Well, here's why. Because in places, like in central Pennsylvania, Ohio, a lot of the rural areas, and even some of the bigger markets, I mean, we're even doing this up in Dallas, Fort Worth, that it's old school advertising because we're chasing an old school target audience. So don't think you're going to find a lot of 68, 72-year-old senior citizens, Twittering and Instagramming. That's a LASIK, strategy. These people are watching a lot of TV, and they're reading a lot of newspapers still. Some of it's online, some of it's, in real papers, but the only people reading newspapers is the target, cataract audience, if there is anybody left reading it. And we keep seeing results. We do cataract breakfasts, we do laser cataract seminars, we do laser cataract cookouts. It just depends. Here's an example of an ad that we did, because now there's more than one manufacturer for the lasers. In markets where we have multiple manufacturers, we say, if you're going to have cataract surgery or considering cataract surgery, we don't say, please think about having, LensX or Catalyst or LensAR or whatever it is. We say, insist on LensX, and we'll tell you why when you get here. And we also say, in markets where we can, Bob, did my screen just switch? That's there we go. Sorry about that. We also say that we are the most experienced laser surgeons in those markets. because it makes a difference. Another old school technique we do are direct mail newsletters, and these are big direct mail newsletters. They are 11 by 17, they're 4 pages, they're 4 color, and it's like getting a big piece on politicians. I mean, the piece is so big in your mailbox you can't help but read it. And when you open it up and it says the state of cataract care in Austin, Texas, or the cataract report brought to you by Ohio, whatever it is, and it's 100% about laser cataract surgery, advances in cataract care, patients who've had laser cataract surgery. It's great reading, and we can mail out 10,000, 20,000 of these to households of 65 plus age group, combined $50,000 household income, and put it in their mailbox, printed, postage, designed, and dropped at the front door for about 49 cents a piece. And it's pretty incredible. Considering how much we charge for our products, this has been a no-brainer. And we're on our 3rd or 4th or 5th printing of some of these. Why? Because it simply works. And so it's kind of a nice big newsletter format. Here's another example here. And whether you're doing roll-on, roll-off, or have your own freestanding laser, it doesn't matter. Our direct mail strategy, if you want to write this down, like what I just said, we do a 5 to 10 mile radius. We do 65 age households verified through the latest census data, and we do a 50,000. You can do 50,000. You can do 75,000. But with direct mail, you need to watch going too high. If you target too high of an income bracket, with your marketing, those people are much more difficult to influence than people in the $50,000 bracket. The higher bracket you go with income, the more likely those people already have a preferred ophthalmologist already taking care of their vision. So just be careful with going too high in your direct mail. I'm going to play this radio commercial for you, and because we do radio very well. This was a client in Atlanta, and there's a giant radio station in Atlanta that has all these famous people, that are DJs, and the client was saying, we really want to hit this radio campaign. It was our first ever radio campaign for laser cataract surgery. I wasn't keen on that. I wanted to do television, but we did radio. Here's the radio commercial, and you can see what this sounds like. And I'll tell you a little bit about this campaign after you hear it.
Pioneering doctors of Omni Eye Services of Atlanta have helped set the standard in cataract care and lens implantation. Dr. Lawrence Woodard and Dr. Rishi Parikh are proud to be the first and only cataract surgeons in the Atlanta metro area to offer patients laser cataract surgery. So if you've been diagnosed with cataracts, call Omni Eye Services of Atlanta today at 404-698-1565.
Well, I think we're having a little bit of speaker trouble there, but here's the thing about radio. So we ran 2 radio commercials, that one and another one using a pretty famous actor that talked about the advantages of laser cataract surgery. And we ran it about 2 weeks and spent a fair amount of money, and it bombed. It bombed, not just a little bomb, I mean a big bomb. It bombed big enough that I don't think I will ever do a major radio campaign for laser cataract surgery. I don't personally think you should either, because we do radio very well. We do a lot of radio still for LASIK. It just doesn't work. I think the core audience that we're chasing is not listening to radio. Why television? It's just the audience we're targeting. Viewing is going to increase this fall. Don't let September, October, and part of November go by without doing a major TV campaign. And by major, I mean you can spend as little as $2,000 or $3,000 a month, or you can go up to $100,000 a month, like a few of our clients do. And why do they spend that? Because it works. That's the bottom line. But but the best time to market your cataract volume is in September, October, and part of November. There's just more viewership. People want to have surgery before the year is end, and there's new programming. And with TV, you need to run about 9 to 12 weeks anyway to really establish, your messaging. I will, again, I don't want to show you these commercials now, but I had several commercials that are here that if you email us, we'll send you a link and show you those commercials. You know, Bob talked about his eye cataract counselor, which is a great educational tool, but we're seeing an increase. As a matter of fact, the fastest growing search term in ophthalmology is cataract surgery, laser cataract surgery, cataract implants, those kinds of things. And so with your pay-per-click and with your SEO, you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that. It's still nowhere near the search pressure that we see for LASIK. There's a much higher volume of search, you know, with LASIK, but cataract is growing great. As you can see here, his eye cataract counselor is first in paid and also first in organic. In Austin, Texas, we're number 2 in paid and number 1 in organic for laser cataract surgery. It's just a place I think you ought to be. In closing, probably the most important thing you can do if you do nothing else, which a lot of people will not, but and I'm not sure why there's this hesitancy toward marketing cataract surgery. We do a lot of community service type advertising where we, in conjunction with the American Academy of Ophthalmology, we're proud to support, National Cataract Awareness Month and promote early diagnosis and treatment or the latest breakthroughs in cataract care. There's nothing wrong with helping inform the public, of the advances going on in our industry. So if you happen to launch a campaign and bring people in, the most important thing you can do is have a pricing sheet that tells and shows patients what. Tells them this. When every patient sits down and your counselor says, thanks for coming in, the doctor recommends laser cataract surgery, with a toric lens implant or a multifocal lens implant, which is going to give you, the best vision possible for your lifestyle based on your lifestyle survey, and your out-of-pocket today for that lens is going to be $2,450. What do you think the first or second word out of that patient's, mouth is going to be? They all say, wow, $2,450, what's my Medicare paying for? I thought my insurance was going to cover cataract surgery. And so every patient needs to see the following. You show them, yes, your cataract procedure in general will be covered, by your Medicare or by your insurance provider. In fact, Mrs. Jones, if you didn't have Medicare or insurance, your procedure today for laser astigmatism package would be $4,790. But because you've got Medicare or insurance, your out-of-pocket today is only $2,450. And with that, we can do affordable financing, low monthly payments, interest-free payments, however you want to pay for that. But Medicare and your insurance is paying for the bulk of your procedure today. So tell every patient that, show them that, and help them understand how much that their insurance and Medicare is actually paying for. And remember, when you come to a fork in the road, take one. You never know where it might lead you. So thank you all for tuning in. I think that Connie may have a couple of questions from some of the people who have been monitoring today. Bob and I will be happy to answer those. I'm going to change this back over to the presenters to Bob, and we'll pick it up from here. Thanks again.
Okay. Connie, do you want to go through the questions?
Sure. I have, this one's for you. We have a laser on order. What can we do in advance to get the word out to our patients and referring physicians?
Well, many of the things that we covered earlier in the webinar, you can start, prior to receiving the laser. In fact, we have, and you can see it on our website, a program we call the announcement video. We were contacted by OmniEye, told that they were going to get a laser in a couple of weeks, but they had this big OD meeting that they wanted to present the fact that they were going to start doing laser cataract surgery. So we put together a script. We had B-roll already. Of course, we have our animation that we've created internally, and they sent us a couple of still images of their doctors, and we created this announcement video for them that they showed to their ODs at that meeting. I think they had 240 of them there, and you just got a standing ovation from it. And their ODs, were really excited and started immediately educating their patients about it. Their lead time on some of these other things, like getting pop-up banners, is 3 to 4 weeks. Getting your website geared up and ready to go, and publishing it in advance, and just raising as much awareness that it's coming, and that you possibly can. So lots of things you can do early on like that.
Okay, I have one for Mike.
All right.
Mike, this person wants to know, is the fall a good time to be on TV promoting laser cataract surgery?
The fall is the best time to be on TV promoting cataract surgery, especially laser cataract surgery. The worst time to be on, just so everybody knows, is January. Why? Because no deductibles have been met. By the fall, a lot of deductibles have been met. So the fall is a great time because of this. If you've met your 2014 deductible and have been diagnosed with a cataract, right now, the fall is the most affordable time to have cataract surgery. So I would have that message out there with laser cataract surgery, and there really is no better time of the year to market than right now. And don't wait until October, November, because by that time, many of your surgery schedules for December are booked because people want to have their surgery done this year.
Okay, I got another one for Bob.
Shoot.
Do you have stock products for any femtosecond lasers besides the Lens X?
Oh yeah. We've got it doesn't matter what what laser you have. We can produce anything you want. We don't have a ton of footage of some of the other lasers. Again, we mentioned that Mike and I both were kind of in the we did the bulk of our work with early adapters, and a lot of the early adapters had the Lens X laser, so we've got lots of video footage of those. But as far as brochures and direct mail, and we've even some of the site selector videos include the Victus laser and the Lensar laser, and so it doesn't matter what laser you have. We certainly can help you.
Okay, and here's another one for Mike.
All right.
How long should a TV campaign run, and what kind of results should we expect?
Very good questions, very common questions, especially the one about what should we expect from our advertising. Everybody asks that question. But we say you've got to give yourself at least, 8 to 12 weeks of television for your message to be seen by enough people, and for the brand to be built, and for the message to really be embraced. Why is that? It's because you really have to honestly ask yourself, do any of us sit around, with a pencil or pen in our hand, writing down telephone numbers from TV commercials? No. What happens is we see the commercial, then we watch our program, we fast forward through some of the programs, through some of the TV commercials, but we watch it and we watch it and we watch it, and some of the most successful businesses in your town are the people who run enough frequency and have enough reach out there with their messaging that that when you want tires, windows, cars, insurance, whatever, you go to the people who advertise the most. And it's the same way, especially with laser cataract surgery, because there aren't many people advertising laser cataract surgery. If you get out there and establish yourself in that manner for 9 or 8 to 10, 12 weeks, you become the leader because you're the only one out there promoting that product line. So we say about 10 to 12 weeks, and you should an easy way to look at this in terms of return on investment is that if you spend $5,000 to $10,000 a month on your television advertising, which can be a pretty real number, you should expect a double or triple return on that investment. So on a $5,000 to $10,000 a month investment, you're going to need 3 to 4 patients who have laser cataract surgery bilaterally to help pay for that. And those numbers are not very big. When you consider if you advertise for a month and you get 5 patients that are going to have cataract surgery, it's not really a yes or no for cataract surgery. It's an either or. Which lens or which laser do I want? What type of surgery do I want? It's not a difficult accomplishment to achieve by getting a 3 or 4 to 1 return on your investment.
Hey, Mike, speaking of old school, there's another question here about people want to know what your opinion of phone book advertising is.
Phone book advertising is actually a little too old school for our taste. What we do with all phone books now is a bold-face listing, because most of our clients are somewhat established in their area. And when you advertise, we feel people are not going to the phone book to look for the largest laser cataract surgery ad. They're going to the phone book, if they're going to the phone book, to find your number. And so all you need is a bold-face listing in the phone book and really nothing more, in my opinion.
I got a question that came in that pertains to our eye cataract counselor, Bob. They want to know, is the pay-per-click program market exclusive?
Yes. If you do pay-per-click with us, and that is market exclusive. We offer it in a 25-mile radius of your practice. The thing that is the aspect of it that's not market exclusive is anybody can have it organically on their website. But the pay-per-click, as far as an advertising, is only available on a market exclusive basis, which you would want if you were doing it. So
I think we have time for at least one more question. We're pretty ignorant about social media. I doubt that. Do you have social media products or services?
Yeah, I think both Mike's company and my company offer social media. Mike includes some degree of that. I think, Mike, in your consulting packages, we have something called the Social Advantage, and if anybody's interested, they can learn more about that, on our website, or they can call our number and talk to Will Panate. He's our product manager, and he manages quite a few practices, social media across the country, and he's one of those young guys that really, lives for social media, unlike us old guys here that rarely use it. But check it out on the website, if you will.
Yeah, and I would say for everyone out there that the shift is now officially done, that basically mainly only seniors and some middle-aged people are hardcore Facebook users anymore. The younger generation has abandoned Facebook for Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. But we just did a survey last week. I conducted some focus group studies, and every single patient that I think we targeted 50 people in the room, and we asked them an hour's worth of questions. Everyone but one had a Facebook account, and I asked them why, and it wasn't because they're looking for laser cataract surgery on their Facebook page. It's because they want to check out their kids and grandkids, what's going on. But they're on Facebook, so you can deliver up Facebook messages. We also do campaigns where we give away free iPads at the front desk, and if you'll like us and share our Facebook page with your senior friends. So a lot of good, cool activity on Facebook for seniors, so don't underestimate that.
Okay. Well, I think that brings us to the close of today's presentation. Bob and Mike, thank you very much. It was very informative. Thank you to all of our attendees. If we didn't get to your question this afternoon, we will be in touch with you later today via email. I also want to let you know that at the close of the webinar, you will be receiving an email inviting you to participate in a short survey about today's webinar. We would greatly appreciate your feedback if you take a few moments to complete the survey for us. And that's the close for today. Thank you all very much.
Connie, you might also add that we have attempted to record this one, and
oh, right.
if we get it recorded, where will we post it?
We will post it on our YouTube channel. We will also post it on our blog. So everyone that signed up for the webinar, whether you attended or not, you will receive an email with a link to that information. We'll also be sharing that on LinkedIn.
Okay.
All right. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.